Have you ever thought about what happens when you stop being the center of someone's world? Picture this: one day you disappear from someone's life. No calls, no texts, no interactions whatsoever. In that silence, what unfolds? This isn't just a passing thought, it's a powerful reflection on the impact we have on each other's lives and what we learn when we step back. Today on Stoic Resonate, we're diving deep into the transformative power of absence through the lens of Stoicism. How can disappearing lead to personal growth, stronger relationships, and a more resilient sense of self? Together, we'll explore how removing yourself from the equation isn't just about the other person, it's about you, your growth, and how you handle the void. Before we jump in, I want to thank those of you who have been supporting this channel. Your feedback means everything. And if you're new here or just haven't subscribed yet, now's the time to hit that subscribe button. Like this video if you're ready for some thought-provoking insights, and share it with anyone who's on a journey of self-discovery and philosophical growth. Stay with me until the end. What we'll discuss is vital for anyone looking to deepen their understanding of themselves and the Stoic philosophy that can guide us toward a more fulfilled life. Let's get into it, and remember, the journey of self-discovery is not just about finding answers, but asking the right questions. Lesson 1: the power of absence. It's that initial sting you feel when someone stops reaching out suddenly. No more calls, no more texts. You're left wondering what went wrong. This experience is not just about missing a person, it's about feeling the emotional weight of absence. Your mind races, trying to understand, replaying interactions and wondering what you could have done differently. But here's where Stoicism steps in to shift our perspective. Absence is not merely an emptiness, but an opportunity for reflection. In the absence of someone's presence, we are confronted with our own emotions and reactions. It feels personal, but it's not about what the other person did or didn't do. It's about how we handle that void. The Stoics remind us that while we cannot control the actions of others, we can always control our response to them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. When someone disappears, it's a chance to practice this Stoic principle, learning to navigate the emotional storm without being overwhelmed. Moreover, Stoicism encourages us to detach from external validation. When someone leaves, it's easy to feel unworthy or insignificant. But the truth is, our worth does not depend on someone else's attention. By embracing this lesson, we liberate ourselves from the need for constant approval. Instead, we focus on our own virtues and actions, aligning our sense of self-worth with our internal values rather than the fleeting judgments of others. Absence, then, becomes a path to personal freedom, a way to strengthen our resilience and independence. Finally, the quiet that absence brings can be a space for internal clarity. Without the noise of external interactions, we have the opportunity to listen to our inner voice. This silence helps us recognize areas in our lives where we may have been too dependent on others for validation. It becomes a time to realign with our own goals and values, making sure our path forward is led by our own principles, not dictated by the need for approval from others. Lesson 2: rejection as growth. Rejection can be a gut punch. When someone cuts off communication, it feels like a personal attack, a wound to your ego. You're left wondering what went wrong, if you misread the signals, or if you did something wrong. This emotional turmoil is real, but Stoicism offers us a different way to frame rejection. Instead of seeing rejection as a judgment of our worth, the Stoics urge us to view it as a reality of life, something outside our control. In this sense, rejection is not about us at all, it's about the other person's circumstances, preferences, or needs. Epictetus taught that the only things truly within our control are our actions and reactions. Everything else, other people's opinions, behaviors, and choices, lies beyond our influence. So, when faced with rejection, instead of spiraling into self-doubt, we should practice detachment and remind ourselves of our inner strength. More importantly, rejection offers a profound opportunity for growth. It forces us to confront our vulnerabilities, to ask hard questions about our attachments, and to reassess our reliance on external approval. Instead of seeking to change someone else's mind, Stoicism invites us to turn inward, focusing on cultivating our own virtues, patience, fortitude, and resilience. Every rejection, then, is a step toward greater self-reliance, a sharpening of our emotional and philosophical armor. By reorienting our mindset, we can turn rejection from a source of pain into a powerful catalyst for personal development. Rejection is also an invitation to develop our independence. It teaches us to accept the limitations of external relationships and forces us to invest more in our relationship with ourselves. This independence isn't about building walls or avoiding relationships, it's about cultivating a sense of inner peace that doesn't rely on the presence or absence of others. With this Stoic perspective, rejection becomes less about loss and more about growth, a refining fire that strengthens us for the journey ahead. Lesson 3: Curiosity and Overthinking. Curiosity is natural when someone disappears from your life. You wonder, why did they leave? What did I do wrong? What are they doing now? It's a human instinct to seek answers, to fill in the blanks when we don't understand something. But if left unchecked, this curiosity can spiral into overthinking and endless speculation. Stoicism teaches us the importance of focusing on what is within our control, and the other person's reasons for leaving are not part of that. The Stoic philosophers, such as Seneca, emphasized the importance of directing our thoughts toward what we can influence: our own actions, emotions, and responses. Curiosity, in this context, should not be about trying to figure out the motives of others, but about understanding ourselves better. Instead of ruminating over someone's absence, the Stoics encourage us to reflect on our own reactions. What does this curiosity reveal about our needs and desires? How can we use this moment to grow? By turning our curiosity inward, we can use it as a tool for self-discovery. We can examine our attachments, learn from our emotions, and focus on our own personal growth, rather than getting caught up in the unknowable reasons behind someone else's actions. At its core, curiosity should serve as a vehicle for self-reflection, not an obsession with the unknown. When we become overly fixated on why someone left, we lose sight of our own growth. By embracing a Stoic mindset, we shift our curiosity inward, allowing it to be a catalyst for personal evolution. Instead of seeking answers outside of ourselves, we find them within, leading to deeper clarity and emotional mastery. Lesson 4: Self-Reflection and Growth. When someone vanishes from your life, it's like a mirror is suddenly held up to you, reflecting your thoughts, behaviors, and emotions in stark clarity. This reflection isn't just about figuring out what went wrong or what you could have done differently. It's about examining the deeper dynamics of your relationships and your own inner state. Stoicism encourages self-reflection as a means of personal growth. When someone leaves, it's a perfect moment to ask yourself tough questions. Were you too dependent on them? Did you ignore signs that they were pulling away? Or did you place too much of your self-worth in their approval? The goal here isn't to blame yourself, but to gain deeper insight into your own desires, expectations, and behaviors. This introspection helps you grow, fostering emotional resilience and a clearer sense of who you are. Through this process, we can redefine our boundaries and recalibrate our expectations. We learn to accept that others are beyond our control, and we become stronger by focusing on what we can change ourselves. Stoicism teaches us to use every experience, even difficult ones, as opportunities to practice virtue and to align more closely with our true selves. In this silence, we also gain the clarity to reconnect with our core values. The absence of distractions allows us to focus on what matters most, whether that's our personal growth, professional goals, or inner peace. Absence becomes less about missing someone else and more about rediscovering the parts of ourselves we may have neglected. This form of self-reflection is not just about learning from the past, but about forging a more authentic and purpose-driven path forward. Lesson 5: Emotional Independence. Absence forces us to develop emotional independence. In the presence of others, it's easy to rely on external validation or companionship for emotional security. But when that presence is removed, we are left to face our own inner world without distractions. Stoicism teaches that true emotional independence comes from within, not from the reassurance of others. When someone is no longer there to comfort or affirm us, we must turn inward. This shift can feel uncomfortable, even painful, but it is essential for personal growth. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, the happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. In moments of absence, we have the opportunity to strengthen our inner dialogue, learning to self-soothe and cultivate inner peace, regardless of external circumstances. Moreover, emotional independence isn't about shutting others out, but about building a strong foundation within ourselves. When we are emotionally independent, we are no longer swayed by the comings and goings of others. This resilience allows us to maintain stability, even in the face of loss or rejection. Absence, then, becomes a training ground for building a deeper, more unshakable inner life. Finally, emotional independence empowers us to engage in healthier relationships. When we no longer rely on others for emotional stability, we can connect with people in a more authentic, non-attachment way. This shift enhances the quality of our interactions, making us less reactive and more present, ultimately leading to more fulfilling and meaningful connections. Lesson 6: the virtue of patience. One of the hardest things to endure during absence is the waiting, the uncertainty of whether the person will return or whether you'll receive the closure you crave. Stoicism teaches that patience is not just the act of waiting, but a virtue to be cultivated. It's about how we wait with grace, acceptance, and a calm mind. In absence, we have the chance to practice patience not only with the situation but with ourselves. We often want immediate answers, closure, or resolution. But life rarely offers such certainties. The Stoics remind us that we cannot control how long we must wait for things to unfold. We can only control our attitude during the process. Patience becomes an exercise in letting go of the need for control and trusting the natural flow of life. Patience also fosters a deeper sense of peace. When we learn to wait without anxiety or expectation, we free ourselves from the emotional turmoil that often accompanies absence. This patience, rooted in Stoicism, teaches us that everything will unfold in its own time. And while we wait, we can focus on our growth, ensuring that when answers come, we are stronger and more resilient. Finally, patience helps us avoid rash decisions born out of frustration or fear. By cultivating this virtue, we are less likely to make impulsive choices in response to absence. Instead, we approach the situation with a calm, considered mind, trusting that whatever is meant to be will unfold naturally, without force or manipulation. Lesson 7: the art of letting go. Absence teaches us the art of letting go, a core tenet of Stoic philosophy. When someone disappears, we are forced to confront our attachments. These attachments can create suffering when we cling to something or someone that is no longer there. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or dismissing the impact that person had on us. Rather, it's about releasing our grip on the need for them to return or explain themselves. Epictetus said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them." This means that much of the pain we feel from absence comes not from the act itself, but from our resistance to it. Letting go, in the Stoic sense, means accepting the situation as it is, without yearning for what could have been. It's about releasing the mental and emotional weight we place on something we cannot control. Letting go also gives us the freedom to move forward. When we stop clinging to what was, we open ourselves up to new possibilities, experiences, and relationships. This process is not about avoiding grief or sadness, but about acknowledging it, learning from it, and allowing it to pass through us without becoming our entire reality. Finally, letting go strengthens our emotional resilience. When we practice the art of letting go, we prepare ourselves for future losses and challenges. We become less fearful of absence because we know that we have the inner strength to endure it. In this way, absence becomes not a source of despair, but a stepping stone to greater emotional freedom. By the end of this journey, we learn that the disappearance of someone from our lives isn't just about loss. It's about the opportunity for growth, reflection, and greater self-reliance. In true Stoic fashion, every external event becomes a chance to strengthen our virtues and deepen our understanding of ourselves. If these insights resonated with you, don't forget to subscribe to Stoic Resonate for more wisdom and personal growth tips, and hit that like button to help spread the Stoic philosophy to those who need it most. Share your thoughts in the comments below. What lessons have you learned from the silence of others?